Whenever you need faith that you're not playing well enough, just remember, you are never as bad at Pikmin as this guy. Never as bad as the demo player. Never, ever, ever. Hey interwebs, it's JackitK and welcome to my new Let's Play. This is a game that's been, this whole series I should say, is a series that's been near and dear to my heart. And it's an interesting history as well, because it's a game that I grew up with but never actually owned until adulthood, to put it lightly. Might as well go for this. But alas, I'm getting distracted. Pikmin is something that I like. It's a game I try to keep from playing too often because I'll admit, I get obsessive over this game. Like, if I had to speedrun one game, this would be the game I'd do it up. It's the only game that I actually care so much about every little movement I make. And I actually will spend a lot of time in this game just trying to perfect my movements and do things as efficiently as possible. So, it's a game I want to do a playthrough of, but it's going to be a bit of an interesting approach. Like, it's going to take a little bit more than my typical Let's Play. For one, I'm actually practicing the game in advance. Secondly, I decided to go with a certain particular commentary setup, which I guess I'll wait to get into until we actually start up the game, because I've been keeping you guys waiting long enough. So let's just start over from the beginning and start our adventure. It is the year 30XXX until it becomes outdated, and then we can make it 40XX. Because apparently 20XX is slowly but surely becoming outdated. Our grand heroes come back from an amazing adventure, and is in no way going to collide with that random rock floating in space. The only random rock in this vast wide wander of outer space. What are the odds? Oh, what do you know? The rock connected with the spaceship, and the spaceship is going down. Though I don't know if that's really how it would work, because there's no gravity in space. But alas, for the sake of cartoon and video game logic, for the sake of entertainment, we are going to assume that this ship is going to crash land onto the planet. And it's not looking too well, we'll just say. For just going through a giant space crash, our hero seems rather fine. However, give it a sec. His ship is another story, as to be expected from a space crash. This is our hero, Captain Olimar. Allow me to let him introduce you to himself. While traveling through space, my ship was struck by a meteor. I must have blacked out, and I woke on the surface of a weird planet with so many parts lost. The dolphin is the skeletal hull of what it once was. A painful sight indeed. The engine is gone. I'm stranded. To make matters worse, my sensors indicate this planet's environment contains high levels of poisonous oxygen. My life support systems can function for only 30 days. If I can't repair the dolphin by then, no! Better not think about it. I must find the missing ship parts. Kinda like it was with Mega Man X. I'm not exactly sure. I can't believe we don't have camera controls yet. If we could zoom out, we could very easily see where we're supposed to go. As the game may not explain, I can press A to punch things. Not gonna get too much use out of it, but it's worth noting that it exists. Actually, I'm not even punching in, I'm just... If Olimar would stop turning around towards the objective we have to go to, it actually looks more like he's slapping him. I gotta watch my language despite my intention to add a few more adjectives to the word slap than are necessary. we'll just leave it at that. A strange thing has just appeared before me. I barely begun my search for her when it is reared up, as if it was waiting for me. Then it dropped a single seed. What is it? Is it alive? Is it a machine? It resembles a vegetable on my home planet we call an onion. I should call this an onion too. So about the whole reading thing, I'm not quite sure, because I know some people don't like when you read every single thing that comes up in gameplay. But I do feel like the dialogue is an overlooked thing in the Pikmin series. Like, there's actually a surprising amount of characterization that you may easily overlook if you don't pay some attention to the dialogue, so I'll probably be compromising, sometimes reading, sometimes summarizing it. Like this we can pretty much summarize. Just saying that we go over here, press the A button, and we pluck our little friend on the ground here, who in no way existence will make a whole section of the internet squirm in regret. And the other part, just overly obsess over something that's dead. But then again, a lot of people like being a dead horse, so why not? Anyways, that's just saying that it looks like a pig carrot from his home planet, so he's gonna call these things Pikmin from now on. Imagine if that's how it works in the real society and that. This I could probably summarize a bit. This is just going over controls and all that. I know how to do that. I don't have to worry about that. So camera. This may not seem like an important thing, but for someone like me, is actually get more use out of the camera in this game than any game in existence. So I am playing this on the Wii remote with the nunchuck, because this is the Wii version of the game. If I press left or right on the controls here, I can actually zoom the camera. Oh great, I'm taking too long, so the game's gonna be explaining controls. This is one thing I don't like about the tutorial. I can't get mad because I understand that's something it has to do, but at the same time, I want to talk, dang it. If I press up on the control pad, I can switch between this overhead mode and the normal cameras. Then adjusting the camera as I play will become pretty useful as I play to make precise movements to that. There you go, little Stevie Mobian. That is how we do it. So those pellets that we were punching earlier, as the Pikmin brings them back, they actually reproduce and create more Pikmin for us to pull out of the ground. This will be useful for obstacles that we face along our way. Like, you know, geez, this box is blocking my way. It has a number 10 randomly on it. I wonder if that's relevant for anything. So, if I keep tapping A, I can actually pluck multiple Pikmin at once without having to run over to each one and press A individually. That's a very useful tactic that you will definitely get use out of as time goes on in the game. Now we just gotta find a few more pellets, enough to make our way to get our numbers up to get this box, and we'll be in good shape. Other controls are useful to know. Because I'm using the Wii version, I can actually point around on the TV screen and it'll affect my cursor. If I point towards where the Pikmin are and call them with B, they'll come back to me, dropping whatever they're doing. And if I want to put them on a task, I can throw them with A. Now, since this is the Wii version, there is a very important distinction I need to make about the controls. You can point wherever you want, but if I go too far away, you may notice that I'm getting two cursors rather than one. The one that's further away with the arrow is where I'm pointing. However, the circle with a bunch of lines, pretty much the dotted circle, is where my Pikmin would actually go. So I may be aiming for the box, but when I throw it, they don't exactly go all the way to the box. This is a pretty important distinction to know whenever you're playing a motion-sensitive Pikmin game. I know this is true for Pikmin 1 and Pikmin 2. It's been a little while since I've last played 3, so I don't quite recall if that's the case. But I am fairly confident it is something useful to know. What else can I show? Oh, of course this is on a cliff, so I can't quite show the task that I mean to show quite yet. But as you can see, that Pikmin has 1 and is carrying 1. Wonder what happens if we throw more on there. It may be hard to see with this little thing, but it's actually going a little bit faster than before. Now, and that will be important to know when you're multitasking in the future, because there are some cases where you can put as many Pikmin on a task as quickly as possible to get it done as quickly as possible, but other times you may want to have some Pikmin to do one task and other Pikmin to do another task. So knowing when to deciding what your numbers are going to be for a particular task does play a bit of a role when performing those particular tasks, is what I'm trying to say. The Pikmin are as curious as children. They form groups to perform tasks that would be impossible for an individual. A glimmer of hope has begun to shine in my heart. If I can make use of their skills, perhaps I can fix my ship. I should sum up all I learned in the Pikmin conduct. Controls, 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 controls. I'll get to them eventually. There's like one thing in particular I don't think I've quite shown yet. Make up mind where you want to go, little Stevie-O. Amazing! There's no mistaking it. My ship's engine rests before my very eyes. By a stroke of pure luck, I have already stumbled upon the most important piece of my damaged craft. Fate has shined upon me, but how will I get back to the dolphin? As you might guess, we use Pikmin to get our stuff back to the ship. But we only have 12, and this thing needs 20. I guess we'll have to go collect a few more. As soon as I assure they don't fall off the cliff. I said, as soon as I assure they don't fall off the cliff. This is unfortunately going to be something we run into every now and then with Pikmin games. It takes a little while for them to perfect the AI. Like, I think we're going to run into technical difficulties every now and then, all the way until Pikmin 3. The last thing I really want to show off is, I forget what its actual name is, but the charge. If I hold down down on the control pad and point around with my pointer, my Pikmin will start a march. This is kind of my best option for going across narrow passages, because I can get them to follow pretty much straight behind me, more or less. But what you really be using this for is, like, let's say I don't want to throw 5 Pikmin on here at once. I can just put them all on that and make my way forward. Alright, that looks about right. I decided to save you guys from watching me grind out finding all the pellets and getting them all to base, because as you might expect, when you're trying to play this game as efficiently as possible and you're given a day where you get all the time in the world to get everything you need, I want to make sure I get everything. But now that we got all the Pikmin that are in this area for now, we can put them all on carrying this back to our base for us, and we'll be one step closer to escaping this planet. Any day now. Anything I can do to help, guys? You sure you got this under control? I see a blank spot over here. Why can't I help carry it back? There we go. I'm glad the ship just magically flips back over on its other side for us. I think we would have been screwed if it didn't do that. Oh, glorious! With the help of these Pikmin, I've taken a huge step back towards my home. My ship can once again lift off. The glimmer of hope is beginning to burn more brightly. But what becomes the remaining part? That search starts tomorrow. Day 1 sense impact. I have somehow managed to launch a dolphin, but I am surprised to see the onion lift off with me. Perhaps the Pikmin cannot survive overnight on this planet's surface? Or have they merely decided to join me for other reasons? Either way, it seems they will help me again tomorrow. The dolphin is missing 29 parts. If I can't recover them all, I may never return home to my family on planet JackitK. And they also show life support system will function for only 29 more days. How can I repair my dolphin in such a short time? A dense forest is visible on the surface below, as it holds a key to my survival. I'll name it the Forest of Hope. I'll explore it tomorrow. And this screen will show us our progress that we've made each day. How many ship parts we've got, how many Pikmin we've grown. I wonder what those other two screens are for. Lost in battle, left behind? Surely they wouldn't let our poor little Pikmin army get hurt in any sort of way. And we'll just save our game and move on to the next one. Or next day, I should say.